Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back, of course, to the Time Bomb channel, and I hope all is good in your part of the world. Today on the channel, we're featuring the MOZSLY Watch Winder, and before we get into the box, I think just discuss the fact that watch winders seem to be responsible for quite a lot of heated debates. Some of which I think is warranted, and much more of it is a little too dramatic. There seem to be a whole bunch of apoplectic detractors screaming, "Crazy fool! They'll get your watch!" And yes, you can also overwind your watch by hand, and a lot of screw-down crowns, again, will also suffer over time as expected. And then there are other more measured responses suggesting that yes, overuse will cause your watch to suffer. But there ain't nothing wrong, I think, with occasional use, and yes, I slip into that latter group. There are some clear examples, I think, of when a watch winder is actually beneficial. For example, those with medical issues in their hands, or those less active octogenarians who don't wear their watch, who don't move enough during the day to keep the watch charged. They may also have arthritic fingers, which fiddling around with a tiny crown is going to be an issue for them. So again, watch winders can benefit those. And last category, those with the curious perpetual calendars and moon phase watches. Again, they can be a real pain to keep up to date if you're using those watches in rotation. So again, I think with regards to watch winders, I think an open mind is healthy. There are, of course, some watch nutters who will sit there with all of their autos constantly spinning round and round because it looks really, really good. It's kind of like a surrogate TV. And that probably isn't going to do your watches any favours at all over time. Anyway, preamble over. Let's get into the MOZSLY. So, full disclosure, this one has been sent to me. Huzzah! And yes, I actually get to keep it. Even better. However, I will don the cape of balanced appraisal and be as honest as possible as with all my reviews. Note though that this is an out-of-the-box review, so I don't have long-term use feedback yet. I will need to update you after a couple of months. Let's just unbox and see what we get inside. I haven't actually had a look yet, so this is very genuine. So what are we getting in here then? So, set of instructions. Very simple 1, 2, 3 startup, and yep, little MOZSLY cleaning cloth. That'll be, I imagine, to polish your glass frontage. And what else have we got in here? So we've got this one. We've got our power cables, cushion, and yep. Nice to see. Obviously, this is a made in China. They've provided a UK plug. Not all of them do that, so heads up to them for that, doing that one there. I think we've also got an adapter. This I will show later because I believe indicates the possibility of connecting multiple winders to the main body of one. Comfy cushions, I will come on to those as well later because I had a bit of a personal bugbear with cushions on watch winders previously, having not had a huge amount of success. So let's see what we've got in here. 1 second. All right, so let's remove. Try not to knock the camera out of in front of me while we're doing this. Squidge, squidge. Nothing else in that main box. And we've got past the bag here as we open up to reveal another bag. It's slightly squatter than I thought. I thought it was going to be a little deeper than that. Ooh, spicy. Very nice. So yeah, straight out of the box, I've got to say that faux wood on the side there, combined with that heavy brushed stainless steel off the front, works really, really well, doesn't it? It kind of reminds me of those old record player speaker combos. Yeah, very, very nice. Nice looking little unit, that one. Let me just pause there and I'll focus in a bit more. Yeah, so just as I was readjusting the camera there, I can't help just looking at this, the porthole aesthetics. It would look brilliant on a yacht, wouldn't it, as well? And also then perhaps if you don't have one of those, it would sit very nicely, I think, next to a vintage stereo speaker. So that finishing off the side there is really, really nicely done, if you excuse my fingerprints. A couple of little rubber feet there to keep it stable. Personally, I wouldn't use it on a big mat like this. I would put it directly onto the table, and I think that's going to sit on your bookshelf or on your desk, and complete your man cave look visually with a plum. Now, talking of the porthole, I did read, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, it is a screw down. Now, as you can see, brilliant. That was the first thing I was a little bit concerned about, because most other watch winders, you will find that they are latch doors on these, and the thing I was worried about is that, yeah, if you're clumsy like me and that falls off, I don't think that is going to be reinforced glass, so it could be an issue if you were to drop that. However, I suppose there's a certain amount of fun in screwing down the portholes, button down the hatches, and it fits very snugly anyway. Okay, yeah, anything else on that? But yeah, as I say, you can see finishing and everything inside is immaculate. As I say, this one fresh out the box, sent to me directly by MOZSLY, and as I say, the finishing is flawless on this. There's no rough edges or anything like that at all. I think they're doing a very, very good job on quality and finishing overall. Looks very, very nice. Slightly rougher perhaps are then just the use of very, very basic Allen screws there. I'm not going to pop that off today to have a look in the back, but again, it's the overall aesthetics, whether they could have put those flush, I don't know if that would have looked any better, but yeah, you can just see that they pop up just on the top there. Anyway, yeah, so the thing that I wanted to do next is to plug it in and get some watches running, because obviously with watch winders, I think one of the key concerns is the noise. A lot of people run them during the night, and yeah, we don't need these little babies to keep you awake. So one second, let me just get the plug set up. Okay, so two things just I wanted to point out before we start. To come back to the plug, I noticed that you've got a USB attachment on here, so you could put this into an additional setting, additional set of charging points depending on what kind of charger you run. But again, I thought that was a nice little detail. I mean, my lamp up the top here has a USB charging aspect on it as well, so yeah, I thought that was a nice detail. I was thinking of my electric toothbrush when I thought, yeah, it doesn't come on a UK plug. Let's just pop round the back before I switch it on so we can show you what we've got here. So you've got basically your off button, your clockwise and anti-clockwise, and then bidirectional. I'll come on to that a little bit later. Then speed settings here, and then here's your out point, as I say, which we will use our additional cable, and then you can use these as stackers. Again, I think that's quite a common thing to do. But as I say, I wanted to get the sound on. I've had to take the battery out of the time bomb clock at the back here because it's such an awful ticking in the background. I'll shut up. Let's just have a quiet listen, see what it sounds like. Okay, so yeah, there is. It's not silent running. Some of these things are silent running, and this one does definitely has a little bit of a buzz on it. I'm not sure if that, again, because it's brand new. And I'm just going to pause again and then put a watch in there, because I wonder if that the weight of the watch might help that sound as well. One sec. Okay, so I've just popped the watch in, and the eagle-eyed amongst you will spot that that's the rather special personalised version from Big Ed over at Mr. E's Watch channel. So let's just see if that makes a difference to the sound at all of the runner. Let's have a go. Find the on button around the back here. No, so no significant audible change there with the weight of the watch inside. As I say, sometimes you can, I was aware that the weight of that watch might just settle the motor. As again, as I say, this one is brand new out of the box. But again, I don't think that noise is overbearing. I think if you were to leave it in your office, for example, you're not going to hear it. If it's next to your bed, then yeah, it might keep your wife awake. I was talking about the directions there, of course, on the winding. You've got clockwise, anti-clockwise, and alternating. But bear in mind, of course, that some automatic movements have unidirectional rotors, meaning don't use the alternating movement if yours doesn't have it, because it's redundant. So this will then kick into life once an hour for a short cycle, and you can set that cycle to either 3.5 mins or just over 8 mins. Again, this comes with high anti-magnetic properties also, which is very important, especially if you're like me, because sometimes you can lean against the speakers at gigs and heavily magnetize your watch. I referenced the in and out switch ports on the back. Again, as I say, that multi aspect of stacking these things, again, quite appealing to some people. I wanted to touch on a little bit on the comfy cushions. Let me just get the watch back out again. So yes, the pillows or the comfy cushions. Yes, nobody expected the Spanish Inquisition, did they? But seriously, we've got two cushions, which is nice to see on this one. Obviously, this one, as I showed before, had that Clomex on it. It works well, I think. Sorry, let's just get it around there. Yeah, it fits nicely into here. Your watch fits in snugly, and it holds the watch very, very well indeed. The secondary cushion that they've got here is huge. This is so my wrist size is 7.25 inch, and as you can see, there's absolutely no way that that's going around there. So clearly, this is going to be for much larger wrists. I'm going to say 7.5 upwards. Which leads me on to that sort of pressing question. So let's just open up the helm, because the helm, regulars to the channel will know, they are heavy watches, and that will be an issue, I think, because you do not want any slippage in here. Yeah, so you can just. So it enters nicely. There isn't, yeah, because the thing that I was worried about is that if that becomes displaced in any way, shape or form, it comes out, it's going to damage the inside here, it's going to hit your glass, it's going to scratch your glass, etc. But on that single cushion, I think it works very, very well indeed. I don't think we need to put that back on, just to... Where's the switch gone? Yeah, watch nice and stable. I don't think there's any danger at all of that coming out during the night or whenever. Yeah, I think, yeah, perfect. As I say, I was just mildly concerned about that, but it really doesn't make any difference at all. And as I say, we've got two contrasting watches here, a super heavy steel and then a slightly lighter on a rubber. The rubber strap, obviously, or a leather strap, then allowing you to cinch it really nicely around that cushion. Your steel, it's just, yeah, I think it's a bit of potluck whether it's going to be on the same wrist size as yours, and how long that retains its firmness, its plumpness. And as I say, this last one designed for very wide wrists indeed. I mean, it's difficult for them to cater to all wrist sizes, right? Yeah, so I think you're easily going to be using one or the other. I think, yeah, a classy little unit indeed. As I say, there is that little bit of a buzz, but I'm going to run this a little bit longer. I mean, if I'm sitting here with the radio on or something and it's in the background, I don't think it's going to bother me at all. I think the only time that buzz might affect you is if you've got it on your bedside table overnight. It's classy, it looks cool, it's got that hypnotic spinning, which is like catnip to a watch nutter. As I say, it's fresh out of the box. I'm going to need to use it for a couple of months to see how it runs. I would say in conclusion that perhaps most people don't need a watch winder. I mean, that interaction with your watch in the morning when you set it and wind it, it's a personal moment, and I don't think the watch winder is a substitute for that. But what it is a substitute for is the visual things in your room. I think watch nutters gravitate towards these things because they look good and your watches look good in them. It's another accessory to add to your watch collecting disease. You've got too many watches already, you've got your tools, you've got your straps, it's quite likely that you're going to end up one of these. The price on these things, I think, also makes that a little bit easier. I've popped a link down below where you can purchase them directly. I'm not on commission at all for this. As I said, they've sent this one to me to keep. Super generous of them. And I think just look how happy your watch looks there as it looks out of its belly button window at you. Very nice. MOZSLY also do some very cool watch stands, and I think that's the thing that goes next to your bedside table. Perfect gentleman's organizer, and it's a Father's Day gift, one that you're going to like and use. As always, guys, this isn't the shopping channel. This is just me sharing my thoughts. Again, massive thanks to MOZSLY for sharing this one with me and on the channel. Really, really generous, and I hope that this review is adequate reciprocity. Over to you guys then. Do you own a watch winder? Do you love them? Do you detest them? And would you buy one from MOZSLY? Let me know your thoughts down below. Cheers, guys. Thanks as always for your time and for your view. And until the next watch vid, this is the Bombardier signing off. Cheers.